You think you've got it all worked out with your proclamations of faith, as you stand the last bastion of a dying breed, wallowing in the mire on which you feed. A distant voice is lost on the wind, a word never heard but once spoken. In the wink of an eye, a whispered lie, a promise made but then broken. Who will wake you in the morning while I fight with the gods and their anger, as the hopeless cases file past in their slippers and gowns, and the laugh-line cut faces frozen now into frowns? Echoing, rhythmic, chanting and drumming, harmonized hissing and synchronized humming, the forerunners shout and carry on running. Clear the roadway, at last he is coming. The sheep and the shepherds, some modern-day lepers, a starlight bright night, some old story well told, the ragged edge of a day that began and never ended, as the long finger bends, a beckoning gesture. And the kissed brow is lowered and bent from the light of the glistening jewels in the thorn of the crown, as the quickening clouds draw like curtains to close from the earth the sky, to a thunder-roll fanfare to mark the final bow. When the old are laid to rest for once and all, and the stiff upper lips they quiver and tremble, and the staid institutions wobble and crumble and fail and fall to dust. All those high expectations of heavenly hosts are as distant now as the holiest of ghosts, and the laurel-resting prophets of old wallow in their visions foretold. Where one bright star still shines, brightest of all through winter solstice, what light are you to guide again those who wait and know of the coming? As land divided by the sea but easily crossed, one nation seems such an alien concept. These ships they fear not the wildest storm, as the helmsman braves the new conquest. And the wrath of the sword that severs the limb, diseased by society's indulgence and whim, and the shock of cold steel in whatever form, cutting swathes from where the truth will now pour, and the hearts that have been sad for so long will rejoice in chorus and song, and dance to the tune some new piper will play. Thy kingdom, thy come, is coming today. When faith is as blind as hope profane, for the reasons of personal gain, at the cost of another who'll suffer the pain, whose shoulders are broad to shoulder the blame. The thinking man's lifeline, as long as a lifetime. The thoughtless confusion that reigns, and the rise from the glory of the most told old story that filled books full of pages down through the ages, where campfire vigils follow rituals still sacred, as the pulpits of churches with stained glass windows lit by candles to leave no dark shadows. Who fears now the cut of the pack? Those in whose favour the cards were stacked against the odds accept the deal. New rules apply, the game's now for real. And hunger-pained bellies raise feeble thin hands, with dark hollow eyes as empty as their bowls, hanging on to belief for all that it's worth, that the coming will heal all of the earth, and you cannot decide whether to run, cry or hide, so in the end you feign a massive heart attack. For your guilt-ridden conscience knows you rode on their backs. You never really helped, just papered over the cracks. Who is this God that has been here before, or perhaps never left, but left us alone, and watched from afar? No divine intervention, evolution, no creative intention. The snorting bull stamps the earth and breathes its fiery breath and bellows, demanding a place in the world, a world for man and beast. Where upon a hill a lone tree stands, and in its branches rests a dove, signifying hope to outstretched hands, symbolizing peace and calm and love. What place is this place where we are now? Familiar, yet changing beyond recognition, as it grinds us down and turns us around and leaves us more lost than found. And the singing wind speaks of changes, where the light of the dawn lights the face of the morning, and the sign by the road marks the way that is shown, and the time and the place of the coming. So, you think you've got it all worked out, with your proclamations of faith, as you stand with the past well behind you, and the future held tight in your hand.